Wow, that doesn't look too bad. This is the next day, and I'm going to take this cheesecloth over here. This is what you call cheesecloth. You can almost see through it. See there? You take cheesecloth, and you take the efflorescence, any little bit of concrete residue on the top of this, you're just going to rub off with the cheesecloth. You can do this on regular tiles. Chances are you're not going to have a countertop with these river rock on there. But if you do, you can use the cheesecloth for that. And it came, it's 5 yards. I just cut a little piece off because I didn't think I was going to need very much. I could have cut off a little bit more, you know. I'm just going to do this around all the rocks, and if I see any little particular spot with anything on it, I can take my putty knife and rub on it and wipe that off. You know. But the overall, some of the grout got into the rocks just a little bit, but I looked around on the backsplash and it looks about the same. Doesn't that look pretty good? Now granted, when I put the sealer on here, that's going to darken this just slightly, and it's going to match pretty close to what's up here already. Okay, so continue taking your cheesecloth, and you'll see on regular tiles when you wipe on it, it's going to come off. Now I don't want to take a sponge. If I had a sponge, I could take the scouring side of a sponge and maybe rub on there if I see anything. Last thing you want to do right now is get your sponge wet or anything, because then you got to let that dry, because as soon as I get this done, I'm going to seal this bad boy. Okay, keep her up. I'm getting ready to seal it with this. Look at this. It's a throwaway paintbrush, and I saved it from last time I sealed. If you ever seal with a crummy paintbrush, rinse out your paintbrush afterwards, and it'll be something like this, and you can use it next time. And this is next time, by golly. Just kind of checking it out, getting anything off of here that I have. I am getting the sealer out, and we'd be ready to go in a minute. Kaboom. Man, it's hot in here. I'm burning up like a lobster. But here's my little holder. I just got a little container like this. I've got sealer in here, and it's kind of white. You see it's white in there? And it's going to dry clear. Okay, I'm just going to put that on there. I'm going to try to be as careful as I can. You know, just brush it on there. I usually do stuff like this not on the counter. If you've seen some of my videos, I do sealer on the floor, you know. But this particular sealer, what kind of sealer is this, by the way? It's sealer that I use for my flooring, and it wasn't that expensive. It was only like about 20 bucks for a gallon. And if you go to the store and look for sealer, you know, for countertops and stuff, lots of times you'll get something less than a gallon for way more expensive. You just have to kind of look at stuff. But I've chosen to just go ahead and use something cheap, because this tile, or these rocks, kind of mimic what you would see on the floor. And so I'm just going to put it up here. Okay. If you got any questions about the exact sealer to use, when you're at the hardware store, ask and somebody will help you with it. Okay. Now it's going to look a little milky, but like I say, when it dries, it's going to dry clear. Okay, so I'm going to just keep doing that all the way around this. I'm not going to do anything. I thought I was going to do the backsplash, but you see on the backsplash, it looks like it's been sealed before, and it looks a little darker than the counter, so I'm not going to do any up there. If I was, I'd take the mirror off and get all the way up there, so if you ever replace the mirror with something else, you've already got this all done all the way around that. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do is put the sealer on like that. So it's like, you have to be a tile guy, a painter, or anything. No, you don't. Just be yourself. And I'm just myself, an average Joe, trying to help you with your projects. And that's all I'm doing here, right? Just swirl it around. Once this dries, I'm going to put a second coat. I want to try to keep it so it doesn't kind of fill up too much on any one area, like puddle up. If it puddles too much in one spot, you could get it drying milky. Okay? Just read your directions and do it. Yeah, there's lots of different types of sealer. I'm not going to tell you the exact name of this sealer because every store has their own brand and different prices. You'd be amazed at how much they try to charge you for certain types of sealer. You're like, well, how come this one's $50 and this one over here is $30 or $80? What's the big difference anyways? You know, so if you've got questions about what you want to seal, where it is, and all that, how to prep it, go to a tile company or go to a big box store and ask the salesperson in the tile area. They'll be more than happy to help you out. I'm just going to try to go over the top again, just making sure I got everything. This is looking nice. Now if you got tile, you know, you might not want to put, you're not going to want to do it with a paintbrush probably. You want to have a nice roller applicator or something. So just because, you know, I chose to do it with a paintbrush here because it's river rock and stuff. You know, if this was smooth tile, there's no way I would do that. It would leave lines and I'd probably have to use a different product. There's different ways to install sealer. You know, I've just chosen this, like I said, because this stuff is really, you know, more times than not, you're going to see rock like this on the floor. Okay. Now I'm going to let that dry. Once that dries, I'm going to put a second coat on here. And depending on your weather and stuff, you know, you want it so when you feel on it, it's not tacky and it looks like it's ready to go for a second coat. You do it too soon and you're not going to get the benefits of your first coat. This first coat is going to suck right down into the grout that I put down in there, right? And so there's not going to be as much sealer on here as you thought in all the grout because it's going to be sucked up. So that's why you want to put a second coat, especially if you got grout lines like this, because then you're going to have a nice coverage over your grout, and that's what you want in case you spill anything on there. You don't want to get any stains on there, and you want your grout to last and be protected. Read your directions. Isn't that nice? That's after one coat of sealer. Okay, I've let that dry now. And it's time to put the second coat on. No real trick to this. You know, this is all nicely dry now. If it's slightly sticky, you probably still should let it dry just a little bit more. You know, the second coat generally goes on a lot easier because everything's been saturated on the first coat. You know? I use this little bucket for painting, you know, doing touch-up and stuff. And the funny thing is, I saw a guy, he was holding this before, you know, like this, and he was painting out of it. Well, if you can imagine holding it like this, your wrist is going to get really sore after a while. You don't do it that way. You put your hand up like that, and you just hold it like that, and you let it rest on there. Way easier to do that. You could do that for hours when you're doing paint touch-up or cutting in, whatever. You know? I'm just going to let the camera run so you can see. It doesn't really take very long to do this. If you're on the floor, you can imagine, obviously it takes longer than this, and usually on the floor I'll do it with the paint roller, and I might just use this doing the cut-in around the baseboard or a wall, whatever, you know. And then I do the rest with just a roller. If you haven't seen me do that, I got that on my channel too. Of course I do. You know, I probably should put some playlists together. I've got some playlists, as a matter of fact, on my front page of my channel. Scroll down to the playlists and you'll see what types of stuff I have. What I need to do is spend some more time on it and get all of my videos in playlists. Maybe I have 20 different playlists on my front channel page, and you can scroll down there and see everything to do about painting that I've done, or sheetrock, or ceiling fans, or baseboard, or flooring, whatever it is. Maybe I should do that. Then it will make it easier for you to find stuff on my channel. Okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Just going to make sure I don't have any big globs anywhere. That's going to look good when it dries. That's it. That's it. And that's all I'm going to do for this project. I just rinsed out my paintbrush, and I'm going to keep this for the next little project I have. Don't throw those away. You can use that for a little broom, sweep out cabinets or around baseboards or whatever, or finish up staining something, painting, or sealing something. I mean, there's a slew of things you can do with this before it gets too bad. All right? That's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.